and let's pop into that right now. So, the reason why Jordan is here because Destiny knowledge for me is down here. Jordan's is up here. Okay. So that being said, just real quick, Jordan, if you would just cover what's new with this House of Wolves DLC. What have you heard that's disappointing? What's really awesome? What's not? And then also, kind of just your impressions and why you keep coming back to it.
Okay, so, well, I think the logical starting point is what are we missing? Because we were, I say we were promised, but the company will never say that. Activision will never be like, no, yeah, we were nigged on that. But we were led to believe that we were going to be receiving a raid with this DLC, and unfortunately, we are not. And that to me is it's a letdown in the sense of the people that purchased the DLC already. If they're expensive, they're $20 a piece.
We talked about that, and I didn't buy it. Yep.
Yeah. So it's under the impression that that you're receiving a raid, and I think that's a little shady on the company to do that. Now, granted, you can make the argument that we were never actually promised that, but kind of it is what it is. However, with that being said, I'm actually really excited for the new content that's coming, and I think that if it is what I expect it to be, then the raid will not be missed. And the reason why I say that mostly is the raid was fun. It was challenging until you learned it. So it went from a 6-man hard thing to do, learn the challenges, to where now I can solo it by myself in about an hour. And if I have a buddy with me, I can do it in about 20 minutes. So it became kind of a moot point to try and do the raid. You just did it to kind of get the exotic weapons. So two of the things that they're adding to it, the biggest things are Trials of Osiris and oh my goodness, I can't remember the name of the other mode now.
Well, hit down Trials of Osiris first. Let's start with that.
Okay, so Trials of Osiris is the one that I'm most excited about.
Yes.
I play heavily on PvP. I'm ranked pretty highly, just saying, wink wink. So I'm pretty excited about Trials of Osiris. It's a 3-on-3 deathmatch with revives enabled, and it's an elimination mode. Meaning, kill the other team first before they can kill you. So it's a lot like if you remember old school search and destroy from Call of Duty. Kill the other team before they can kill you.
Or Gears of War, original Gears of War multiplayer, which is really great. Yep.
Yes. And so I'm pretty excited about that. It goes off of a point system. So it's the first team to 5 points. If you win a round, you receive a point. The rounds last for 2 minutes, I believe. And then if you go to 2 minutes and you do not have a winner, then it will go to a 30-second overtime. For that overtime, you will get a central point, which anybody that plays the game becomes much like a salvage competition. So it's basically, domination for anybody that's played any sort of PvP game like this knows what domination is. So you go control the point, and first one to control the point wins. You only get heavy ammo at 1 point during the match, and it is only good for that individual round. So it's kind of like
I was really happy to hear that.
See, I don't know if I was happy to hear it or not, because I enjoy my heavy ammo, and I enjoy controlling a match with heavy ammo.
That's true. Okay, that's fine. For sure.
So there's ups and downs to it. I think that the heavy ammo only appearing once is a good thing. The part about the heavy ammo not being carried over to the next round, I'm up in the air on, because part of me wants to, I want to be able to kill the entire other team, keep my heavy ammo, and just steamroll them the rest of the match. But then the downside is what if they wreck me and they get all the heavy ammo? At least they're only going to win one round.
It's a balance thing, right?
There is. It's a balance thing. So we'll see how that actually plays out. So far, I've liked their decisions that they've made with heavy ammo. They made a couple adjustments over the past, month or so. And I wasn't too sure about them at the beginning, but I think all in all that they have been smart decisions.
For sure.
So I will trust that this will be another smart decision that they will be doing. There's lots of gear that can be dropped in trials. So you can get your new light level is being bumped up to level 34, and you're able to get that through Trials of Osiris through the Egyptian armor drops that you're able to get from it. And the other armor will not drop at 34. You must, quote unquote, ascend it to 34. Which I like that. I think that the ability to get level 34 armor through a different avenue that does not just simply give it to you is a good thing. So the issue I had before with the previous light cap of 32 and being able to attain that without actually beating the raid, I had an issue with that. So without beating the endgame activity, all you had to do is play a whole bunch of Iron Banner and you make it to level 32. And that annoyed me. You shouldn't be able to just put in time into the game and be able to obtain the best gear in it. It kind of defeats the purpose of going through the troubles of knowing the raid, becoming good at the raid, and, you know, quote unquote grinding it. That's really what Destiny is. It's a grind. Either you love it or you hate it. And so I like that it rewards skill and effort in order to get that new 34 gear. And also that you can ascend anything up to the new light level 34 now using etheric light. However, they haven't really shed a whole lot on how hard those are going to be to get. They said it's difficult. They drop from things like Nightfall, Trials of Osiris, PvP, but it seems to be pretty rare. And as long as they make those significant, like, you know, basically akin to an exotic drop in drop rate, I think that'll be fine. Because by playing the game, playing Prison of Elders, getting 34 gear, playing Trials of Osiris, getting 34 gear, you're going to get it a lot faster than trying to find, you know, 4 etheric light. So I think that's a good way to go about that. I'm really excited for Trials of Osiris. It is running from one thing that I was worried about is, so a thing that Destiny does that really drives me nuts is they have these extra PvP modes, but they are only available at certain times. So they'll drop Iron Banner, it's available for a week. They'll drop Double Skirmish, it's available for a week. They'll drop Salvage, it's available for a week. All this kind of things. And I'm like, oh, you have all these PvP modes, just let us play them.
Right.
So I was worried about Trials of Osiris being an Iron Banner event. You know, making one of these, you know, the 2 large reasons to purchase the DLC only available, you know, certain weeks, you know, one week in a month. And I think they did a good thing with it. So it's not available during the week. It's available Friday through reset. So that's Friday through Monday morning at like 4 a.m., I think, if you're on Eastern time. And so it gives you a decent chunk of time to play. It focuses on weekend play, meaning 2 things. 1, you're able to get a team together a lot easier on the weekend. And 2, since this is based on competition, it's based on the best players in Trials are supposed to get the best gear. If you're playing on a Tuesday night, for anybody that plays first-person shooters, it's a lot easier to win than it is on a Saturday night.
Hey, so real quick, just so I let you know, Colton Wong just hit a home run. You're winning 2-1.
Yeah, chicks dig the Wong ball.
I just thought I'd let you know.
Yes. Appreciate that.
No problem.
We winning now? Because, you know,
it is. It's 2-1. It's you know what? All I do is I watch this series and I go, if we meet in the World Series again, are we actually going to win this time or no? That's all I do. That's all I watch this time. So there we go.
So,
sorry to interrupt, but it was important.
Where was I at?
You were talking about the modes being unlocked only at certain times and how it's going to be a little bit. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so it causes you to play on the weekend, which means that you get rewarded by beating the best players in the game. So you can't just play on a Tuesday and get all the best gear. It kind of defeats the purpose of this being a competition. And I really like the way that they go about allowing you to play. So if anybody that follows Destiny knew that the initial assumptions were that you're going to have to earn this trial token. And this token is what's going to let you into the trial, and it was going to be something that dropped from like Nightfalls or during other, you know, normal Crucible matches. It comes out as just something you buy for a mode of light.
Oh, okay.
And I like that because it allows you to play Trials of Osiris as much as you want as long as it's available. So you get this ticket, and it's basically a punch card, and a punch card has room for 3 wins or 3 losses and 9 wins. And when one of those sections is full, your punch card gets closes
redeemed.
out.
Redeemed.
Yep, you have to go turn it in, redeem it, and you can get a new punch card. And the gear that you can purchase is based off of your number of wins that you have available on that punch card. So if you want to get a weapon, I believe the weapons are like an auto rifle. I think is what they displayed as 5 wins.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to have 5 out of your 9 options on there be wins in order to be able to redeem it in for that weapon. And I think that's a really good, cool way to go about it. And the thing I like the most about it is that Egyptian themed gear still is, you can't just get a couple wins and go purchase it all.
Sure.
You have to earn that the hard way. So I think that's a really cool way that they went about attempting to allow you to play as much as possible, but at the same time reward those that are good, not those that play a lot. Because if you simply play a lot, you might not get those 7 or 8 wins that you need on that punch card to be able to get the good gear.
Sure.
So I enjoyed that aspect of it. Are there any other aspects I missed on Trials of Osiris?
No, I think the big thing the big thing I wanted to know is, that's the first thing that I heard was, dude, there's no raid, right?
Yeah.
And then, but I gotta be honest with you, Trials of Osiris sounds really cool. Like, I would buy that in just a game by itself.
Yeah. And the quick downside of Trials that I don't think is a downside. I think it's plus. But that's also because I have a decent sized clan that I play with in Destiny. But there's no matchmaking. Meaning you have to go in with a 3-man fire team. If you don't go in with a 3-man fire team, you can't play. And so there's outlets for that. You go to Destiny LFG, stuff like that, to be able to attempt to get a fire team together. But so that pissed a lot of people off, is that there's no matchmaking. But it goes down to rewarding the best players. If you go in with a fire team of 3 people, and the people you're going up against might be 3 randoms that aren't communicating, chances are you're going to wipe the floor with them.
Right.
You're no longer rewarding the best players. You're rewarding the people that can go in as a team.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually am a fan that they did it this way, as opposed to a lot of people. I like that the Nightfall is still not matchmaking. I wish that the weekly heroic was still not matchmaking, because I can't tell you how many times I get into a heroic. They match-made me with 2 other random people, and they sit.
Right.
They tie a rubber band around their controller and just run in circles so they don't time out and expect me to go beat it for them. And it drives me nuts, and I hate that. But, that's flaws in the community that every community has.
Well, that kind of stinks too. But, how do you... Well, I guess that's the question. How do you fix that? Like, do you make it so that in order to go and have the matchmaking, you got to have a mic? Or would people just do the same thing like you're saying, tie the rubber band, plug a mic in, and walk away?
I think it has to be a veto system. I think that's the way to fix it. Is you got a 3-man fire team. If 2 of them vote to kick the 3rd, then they get kicked. Because it's a lot easier to find 1 buddy to play with than it is to find 2 buddies to play with.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it, even if you're not with, because not very often do both of the people I get match made with sit there and with their thumb up their donut.
Mm-hmm.
If you got 2 randoms with you, one's playing with you, and you vote to veto, and it pops up their screen, 1 out of 2 votes to veto, or to not veto but to kick.
Mm-hmm. Kick blank gamer tag, right?
Right. He can go in there and kick the other dude. I think that would be a good way, a good addition to it to kind of help eliminate that a little bit.
It's an old school way to do it, and it works really well. I think you're right. That makes a lot of sense. Well, awesome.